Then I'll invite you up and no remarks are required. If you have something you want to say, you can, but nobody ever wants to talk. So I just tell people to reassure them you don't have to talk.
Okay.
And I'll just get a picture of Tanya handing the certificate. And that's.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
It's covered leaves.
Yes.
Well, I couldn't get it perfect.
Okay, good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our April Staff Senate meeting. Senator Moran, we can go ahead and call the order. Or the roll call, I'm sorry, I called the order.
Senator Adams.
Here.
Senator Bartley.
He will not be here.
Senator Chadwick.
She's not online.
All right. Senator Finn.
He will not be here.
Regent Hammond.
She's on her way.
Senator Hammond. Hammond. Oh, there she is. Senator Hopwood, I heard is on his way. Senator Jenkins. Senator Johnson. Senator Jones. Senator Hopkins. Senator Minton.
Here.
Oh, Senator Ray.
Present.
Robertson. Senator Spitler.
Here.
Senator Vanderpool. Senator Vincent.
Here.
And Senator Wright, I believe is on Zoom. And Senator Wyatt.
She could not make it.
All right.
Okay, thank you all. The minutes and the agenda were sent out for everyone to look at. I would like to get a call of motion to approve the March minutes. A second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the minutes, any changes? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the minutes have been approved. Okay, Senator Wright, we'll go ahead and do the first swear, staff awards.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. It's my pleasure to introduce one of our most meaningful recognitions, the Christopher Ware Staff Star Award. This award was created in honor of Christopher Ware, whose dedication, passion, and exceptional service have left a lasting impact on our university. The Staff Star Award is designed to celebrate those individuals who consistently go above and beyond in their roles, demonstrating outstanding commitment, teamwork, and excellence. These individuals embody the spirit of service that Chris represented, and through their hard work and dedication, they inspire all of us. This month's recipients have made remarkable contributions that have made a significant difference for our students and our colleagues. And it's with great admiration that we recognize their efforts. And we're truly grateful for the energy and passion that they bring to their roles. Today, I would like to start with our first Christopher Ware Staff Star Award winner, Weston Deshawn, who's the Assistant Director of CRM Solutions in the Academic Program Marketing Office. Weston was nominated by Dr. Nina Marianovic. Though Weston is unable to join us today, I'd like to invite Nina to share her remarks about Weston.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So I am from honors. I guess just also add that. So it's been an interesting year for honors. We've made a lot of moves and shakes and changes in this year. One of which has been the migration of our application process and systems into the magic that is Slate. And Weston came at a really fortunate time to help me understand all of that. So here's my more formal submission. So Weston has quickly become an invaluable asset since joining APM, demonstrating a remarkable ability to navigate challenges with efficiency and expertise. And I've sent this young person many emails. Stepping into a role amid transitions, he has seamlessly adapted, ensuring continuity while bringing his own innovative approach to the team. From day one, Weston has been quick with solutions, tackling complex issues in Slate with confidence and precision. His ability to anticipate needs, mostly mine, and problem solve on the fly has made a significant impact, particularly in refining our new honors application. He consistently seeks feedback, engages in meaningful conversations to enhance functionality and user experience. His responsiveness and willingness to adjust based on input reflect his deep commitment to excellence. Weston's passion for his work is evident in every interaction. He approaches each question, no matter how frequent or nuanced, with patience and enthusiasm, ensuring that solutions are not just implemented but fully understood. His adaptability in a dynamic environment, coupled with his customer-focused mindset, has made working with him a truly great experience. Weston has not only filled a gap left by recent departures, but has elevated the standard of support and collaboration. His proactive, solution-driven approach has strengthened our processes, making him an outstanding nominee for this recognition.
Thank you so much, Nina. And I'd now like to welcome Morgan Gossett, Director of Academic Program Marketing, to share some words about Weston.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Nina for recognizing Wes. It's so special when someone within your department is recognized by someone outside of your department. And it's a true testament to the collaboration that we have on this campus. So we appreciate the partnership with Honors and all of our campus partners. But it is my absolute pleasure to recognize Weston Deshawn with this well-deserved Staff Star Award. Weston joined our team in November of 2024. And in just a few short months, he has fully embraced the Hilltopper spirit, going above and beyond the call of duty in everything he does. As one of our assistant directors of CRM operations, Weston brings deep expertise in Slate and a true spirit of teamwork and adaptability. He is always quick to lend a helping hand, manages competing priorities with ease, and continuously seeks out efficiencies, while remaining considerate of the concerns and hesitations of those around him. His kindness, patience, and colleague-first approach make a meaningful impact every day. And while Weston's role may be remote, so he isn't here with us today because he's actually located in Indiana, you'd never know it by the way he keeps students at the forefront of everything that he does. It's as if he's sitting at the front door of our campus, ensuring every student has the information and support they need in their application journey. Just this week, he actually stepped out from behind his normal computer screen post and chipped in at a local college and career fair in his community, representing and actively recruiting future Hilltoppers. That's just who Weston is, though. Someone who sees a need and steps up to fill it. Weston, thank you for your hard work, dedication, and unwavering commitment to our students and our team. We are so grateful to have you and excited to celebrate you today.
Thank you so much to Morgan and to Nina for helping us celebrate Weston. And Weston, congratulations on this recognition. Next, we would like to recognize for our second Christopher Ware Staff Star Award, Joanna Caslin. Joanna is a programmer analyst in applications and programming services. She was nominated by Brandy Fowler. Brandy is unable to join us today, but she asked that I share the following remarks. So these are from Brandy. Joanna is an integral member of the ITS student programming team, consistently demonstrating a proactive and collaborative approach to her work. She readily takes on new projects, providing invaluable support wherever needed. Her contributions extend beyond her immediate team as she regularly assists the registrar's office. And I'll step out a minute. Yes, that is so true. I call on Joanna every single day, multiple times a day. Back to Brandy, manages various third-party data feeds used by the university and addresses ad hoc requests from departments across campus. With her deep knowledge of systems and data, Joanna effectively collaborates with offices to deliver functional support and data analysis, playing a crucial role in informed decision-making across the university. Joanna actually was nominated twice, not just by Brandy, but also by Dr. Nina Marjanovic from the Honors College. So I would like to invite Nina back up to the podium to say a few words about Joanna.
Joanna is my lifesaver. So as I mentioned earlier, this year has been the Honors Revision Task Force. And on that, we really had to rely a lot for data. And I'm also in my year and a half here still on the Hill, so learning many things around. But the data piece was a really crucial one to help us have a meaningful task force experience as we revise honors. To that end, Joanna was an incredible guide in helping me navigate the complexities of our honors data, and I really cannot overstate that impact. With patience and expertise, she has held my hand through countless hours of deciphering 40 different honors codes and times of life and lifespans when they were in effect and not, refining queries and untangling the overwhelming library of reports and info view. Her ability to make sense of intricate data systems has been a game changer, transforming confusion into clarity. Thanks to Joanna's support, I have a much deeper understanding of our honors population, insights that have directly influenced how we shape our programs and recommendations. Her meticulous approach to cleaning up data and optimizing our reporting tools has ensured that we are not just working with numbers, but making informed strategic decisions that better serve our students. Beyond her technical skill, Joanna's collaborative spirit and willingness to explain every step have made this process seamless. She has not only helped us become more data aligned, but has also empowered me to engage with our information in a more meaningful way. Her dedication and expertise make her more than deserving of the recognition for the incredible work that she does.
Joanna, would you like to join us at the front? Two, three. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much to Nina and to Brandy for helping us to celebrate Joanna. Lastly, but certainly not least, we would like to recognize our third recipient of the Christopher Ware Staff Star Award, Kiana Whaley. Kiana is the DSU Evening Operations and Event Coordinator in the DSU Operations Office. She was nominated for this award by Megan Oliver, who I'd now like to invite to share a few words about Kiana.
So, thank you all for being here to help celebrate Kiana Whaley. Kiana is, as mentioned, our evening operations and events coordinator. Kiana came into our office at a time, she's been a graduate assistant for us for many years, but she stepped in to a more full-time professional staff role in the absence of one of our colleagues who was on paternity leave this past year. Kiana just came in at a really fantastic time and really stepped into her role, taking all of these responsibilities, balancing these all while being a student in our doctoral program for educational leadership. She just really balances everything well, and she's a great team player. She also works really well with students. Her dedication to students and ensuring success for their events just goes beyond measure. In her undergraduate years, she actually founded multiple student orgs on campus, so she knows kind of what it takes to run student events and how to make them successful. So sorry I'm not more well-spoken as my former colleagues were, but yeah, Kiana has just made a great impact with our team, and her reach goes beyond our office and reaches so many student groups across campus, as well as other departments and groups that we work with. So if you don't know Kiana, you should after today. She's always available, any email, any call, any request. But she is an invaluable member to our team, and we're just really proud of her, and we are glad to celebrate her today. Thank you.
Kiana, we'd like to invite you up to receive your award. Two, three. Congratulations again to Kiana, and thank you so much to Megan for helping us to recognize all of her hard work. And congratulations again to all three of you, to Kiana, to Joanna, and to Weston. We know that you all provide invaluable contributions across campus, and we also know that they're not the only ones. I'm sure that everyone works with someone who provides just wonderful help to them, that makes the day better, that helps our students succeed and helps make this university a better place to work. So if you would like to recognize someone, please go to our Staff Senate website and go to the Staff Star Award so that we can bring everything they do to light and recognize them for their hard work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Okay, our next on the agenda is our guest speaker, Zach Jones from the WKU Center for Financial Success. Thank you, Zach. You can sit up there by the mic or wherever works for you. You want to walk around?
Yeah, start here and see where we go.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Again, I'm glad to be here. My name is Zach Jones. I'm our Assistant Director at the WKU Center for Financial Success, and again, congratulations to Weston, Kiana, and Joanna. It's a really cool thing that you guys are doing here with honoring our staff, and all the hard work that you all and so many of our team members do. So I really appreciate that. Again, it was great to get to observe it. So today, I think my task is twofold. One is to answer questions that were submitted. Secondly, to inform on what the Center for Financial Success does. So maybe I'll take the first task. And that way I give you some time to think about questions if you want to ask me some questions on the fly as well, because I would welcome those. Our Center for Financial Success exists really as a one-stop shop for personal finance needs here on campus. We have historically served our students primarily, though we are available to faculty and staff. That does answer one of the questions I think that exists, and I'll dive into that here in a little bit. But to give you guys just a little bit of a backdrop on who we are and what we've done, we are housed in the Gordon Ford College of Business. So we will be moving soon. We'll be on the first floor in the new building here in just a number of months. Right now, we're housed on the third floor of Grace Hall. Formerly, if you haven't been in there a while, we are currently occupying the space that was formerly the political science space when they moved to Cherry. So what we do is, and why I took the time to mention we're housed in the Gordon Ford College of Business, it's not because we're exclusive to business folks, but it's because within the business college, we're connected with the personal financial planning program in our Department of Finance. That program enables students to study and become certified financial planners. We're one of the founding programs for earning that designation, which is seen as kind of the gold star, the premium designation to have in the financial planning or financial advisory wealth management spaces. If you're looking for an advisor yourself, you would want, maybe one of the first boxes you would want to check is, do they have CFP after their name? Especially in this day and age, especially if they're, maybe there's some older folks that got grandfathered in without that designation, but at least, if they've been in the industry the last 10, 20 years, they probably want to have that after their name. And most of our graduates are graduating eligible to set for that exam. One of the cool things that the center does, in addition to educating people and helping people with their money, is we're able to offer applied learning experiences for those students. So our students get to serve as financial coaches from any semester. We have anywhere from 6 to 9 to 10 of those coaches are working for us. They get to help their peers with their money. They get to get out and deliver personal financial education presentations. I know, I don't know a lot of you all, but I know Kent over there. We work with Kent. We actually have a coach that's graduating this semester who's been dedicated primarily to serving our veterans and our military service members and their families. And he's done a great job, and it's kind of been a pilot partnership that we've been working on. And really, that's how we help a lot of students, is through partnerships like what we're doing with Kent and his team, because it's, in the phase of life that you all are in, you appreciate that how much you probably wish that, no matter how much you know about finance, you wish you probably learned more at a younger age. And that's what we get very commonly. And, but for our students, they have a lot of different priorities while they're in school. And so maybe finance isn't always their top one. So the way we help motivate students to figure this stuff out is largely through partnerships, going into classrooms, working with professors, working with clubs and organizations. And so some of the things that we do is we offer free financial coaching one-on-one. We can help with things like budgeting, spending plans, addressing debt situations, paying for school, planning for career, job offers, all that kind of stuff we can help with. And we field a lot of questions that are beyond the scope of what I just described, and we can help with that too. But generally speaking, we find for the student population, those are the things, even if they're coming in with another question, that's what they really need to focus on. So we have those conversations. The And while we've never necessarily recruited or made major moves to try to help faculty and staff, we do have faculty and staff come talk to us. And what happens when that goes on is someone like myself or our director, Andrew Head, myself, folks that have got a little more finance experience under our belt, lead those conversations. And all those conversations again are free, confidential. Sometimes we'll have a student help partner along with that, and it's a great learning experience for them, unless the staff member would prefer it not to be that way. But we can offer help and support to our staff as well. That was actually one of the questions we've got. And so maybe I'll just answer that one. One of the questions that came in that was submitted was so many staff live paycheck to paycheck with substantial debt. Does the center offer a service to help staff go through their expenses and income and help get their finances on track? Does the center offer continuing services? As in, someone meets the center with the center staff member, can they also plan future meetings? And the answer is yes to all of those questions. Is yes, we can help with the income and expenses. We can help address the debt questions. We can have an ongoing conversation and relationship where essentially you can come as much as you want, or one of your peers can come as much as they would like. You know, I find sometimes if someone has never budgeted before, that it's beneficial to have a couple, if they're serious about it and they've never really had some kind of written spending plan where they're tracking their expenses. It's very beneficial to have a series of quick meetings because you're doing something new, you're using a different kind of technology, probably to do it, and there's a learning curve associated with it. And so I think it's actually a really good thing in those kinds of instances. So our center exists to help our students. It exists to help our staff and faculty. And in fact, I think as we move into the new building, we're going to be uniquely positioned. I haven't been able to really have these conversations yet. I think we floated this last time we were here, but now we're really actually positioned to do it, where maybe we could actually begin to offer some financial education seminar series for faculty and staff again. I know that we did it probably at this point, maybe almost 10 years ago. I think maybe a couple folks, at least that were here last time, remember that. But we're finally positioned where we could probably do that again. And so we're excited to hopefully maybe over the summer figure that out.
I have a quick question. Have you thought about like partnering with HR? 'Cause I think when they did those
Yes.
financial things, because that'd be good to get like vitality points too, maybe like, because we actually had like, if I remember, we had a whole week of like financial literacy with everything.
Yeah, and I think that would be our hope, is that is that we would be able to partner with HR. And we've had conversations with them in the past. It's just really the onus is on me to pick that conversation back up, and I intend to as we look to the summer and our bandwidth increases a little bit, at least in our office, to do that. So that we can add something of meaning and value to our staff and faculty members that want to take advantage of it. So that is the final thing I'll just mention. You've heard our primary services. We do one other thing that you've maybe heard of. We have a high school personal finance summer camp we run. It's an overnight experience once during the summer. This year it's June 15th through the 19th. It is a incredible experience for students, and the reason I bring it up here is if you have a kiddo that's in high school age, or if you've got a niece or a nephew or a grandchild or a neighbor that you think would benefit from it. Our camp is an incredible opportunity. It is sponsored by Bound Credit Union, and I bring that up because one, they're an incredible sponsor and been really good to work with. But in addition to that, their sponsorship makes it where we are able to make this camp very affordable. Whereas, my cost per head, if I didn't have a sponsor, would be about $900. Right, for an overnight experience here on campus, where I really do want to roll out the red carpet, provide a valuable experience, have current financial planning students as counselors, and be able to, afford to pay them and get them to convince them to take a week off their internships to come work for us, and invest in the next generation. It's expensive, but with their partnership, with the Balanced Partnership, it's made it where the most a student pays if they are doing early bird is $299, and that covers their housing, their food, t-shirt, all the sessions, everything, right? They don't even need to come with snacks. We provide snacks. However, we also offer scholarships for our students, for the need-based scholarships. And I haven't sent the email out this year. It'll be going out pretty soon. But also for any faculty or staff member, we automatically just apply a $50 discount to that tuition price. So it goes down to basically $249 for any of our faculty and staff that are have a student or a family member that's wanting to attend. So it's a really cool opportunity. We visit local financial planning firms, so they get to interact with business professionals. They get to hear from the CEO and the CFO. Actually, just about every C-suite leader at a Bound Credit Union at some point or another is on campus for our camp, which is kind of cool, I think, right? To have financial planning professionals, people that have climbed the career ladder. They get to interact with all the different departments in our college. It's a pretty cool experience for our students. They compete in a financial planning case study. So they're putting together a financial plan for a 20-something-year-old. In other words, where they're gonna be in a couple of years. So really cool experience. It's life-changing. One of my favorite stories from our first year we did it. And we get similar, we students give us similar impressions, but this one student that we had scholarshiped, that otherwise wouldn't be able to come, she said in the middle of the camp, she said, "I've never had so much fun learning." And that's really at the end of the day our goal. And so I really have had a lot of fun. When we found out we originally received funding from the provost office to do the first year before we had a sponsor, we had a meeting. I didn't even know we had submitted a proposal for it. And as you may have experienced at some point in professional life, when you're the bottom of the totem pole and you're in a meeting, and at the end they decide who's going to do this, you know how that goes, right? So I all of a sudden I became a camp coordinator for the first time in my life. And it was very stressful that first couple of years, trying to figure it out. But I will say it's probably it's kind of one of our like capstone events now, and it's a lot of fun, and students have a lot of fun, and actually, kind of look forward to it. Other than the fact that I gotta make sure all these kids stay safe. It's a lot of fun. So anyways, that's a little bit about the center. If you're thinking of questions, I'm gonna start reading some questions. And I don't want to use my time here. Maybe I'll get my phone so I can keep track, make sure I don't take too much, but I'm gonna answer a couple of these questions that were submitted by our peers. And then if you want to ask me questions or ask me throughout, I'm an open book. I'll tell you if I know or if I don't know. And I can try to get back to you if I don't know an answer to a question. There was a question about, I would call this the tuition program here that we have here at the tuition waiver program we have here at the university. So the question says, are there any resources for those in classes that exceed their $5,250 of federal aid as a WKU employee? Which I guess probably the way I would describe it is not so much federal aid, but that it's a tax-free benefit up to $5,250 for coursework. But the question was, is there any resources because courses have become more expensive, but the aid amount has not gone up. Of course, that aid that's tax law, not necessarily something that WKU has decided, that 5,000 number. So one of the things I pulled was I pulled our policy at WKU. And one thing actually I learned, I'm just reading this verbatim, is all undergraduate coursework is allowed to be considered tax-free and excluded from employee tax wages. I think what maybe some of you guys have experienced is if you're doing grad level coursework, after your coursework exceeds that $5,250, then obviously you have to experience tax withholdings, right? Obviously, it's still a pretty sweet deal in the sense that you're not paying for you're paying just a small percentage in tax versus the whole tuition. However, I do know that can be a burden. I'm not aware of any particular resources that are available in addition to this tax-free benefit other than the book scholarship that the staff student offers. I know that exists, but I think you guys know that. In addition to that, I would say if I could not so subtly sell the center, one of the things we could do for you is help you plan for those tax hits, or help a staff member plan for those, in the sense of budgeting ahead of time, maybe if we know when that's going to hit. So you have a little bit more stored away for those months, would be maybe something that we could do to help out on that front. Another question, I addressed this one, was the paycheck to paycheck question. Do we help students, or help staff? Yes. So feel free to refer people to us. The best way to get it is our website. You can pull my, I believe my personal Calendly is on our website under my staff page, my staff profile. Feel free to schedule me directly. I'll leave some of these cards here today. Should you schedule through our round robin scheduling and when like it's like you get scheduled with one of our students, anytime a staff member or a non-traditional student or someone of that has a little more of a complex situation gets scheduled, they notify me and we find a way to make sure that I can be in the meeting or maybe the first meeting just becomes info gathering and then I look at it and then I sit down before we make any recommendations. So just so you know, so I'll leave some of these here. We have a QR code in the back. A couple other questions we had was what's the difference between an ETF or an exchange traded fund? This is an investment vehicle and mutual funds. For the passive investor, does it matter which one to have? Okay, so let me just give a couple differences on those. I'm not going to get too far in the weeds here. I do recommend when you get into the space where you're doing a lot of investing, obviously you probably do want to have somebody with CFP after your name working with you. The scope of what we do in the center in relation to investments is limited. There are kind of state and federal laws that limit those things without proper registrations. While I carry the credential to give that kind of advice, our office is not registered to give that kind of advice. So I have to limit what I talk about through the lens of education, right? So that's my disclaimer. This is education and should not be construed as investment advice, as you may see on any of those commercials on TV, or a podcast you may listen to. But ETFs, they trade like stocks. So one of the big differences is like the price on an ETF changes all day. Whereas a mutual fund, those purchase orders can only be made once a day. So the pricing, everybody that buys a mutual fund gets the same price that day or selling price that day. Minimum investments, if you are asking this through the lens of like your personal investment accounts, whether that's a taxable brokerage account or a Roth individual retirement account or a traditional retirement account versus your maybe your 403B here, if you're asking through the lens of a traditional, through a personal investment account, sometimes the minimum investment to get into a mutual fund can be a little higher. Some of the mutual funds can, not all, but some can be in the to the degree of $1,000, $3,000, $5,000 or more in instances just to start. And once you do the minimum investment, you can put really small micro increments in. ETFs, on the other hand, typically it's whatever the price of the share is, which can range from $10 to $200, so a little different. So sometimes it's easier on individual accounts to access ETFs, I guess is maybe a difference. One other thing with mutual funds, at least to be aware of, is sometimes, especially if you're in a taxable account, is they can create more capital gains. Just because of the way they're structured. Nothing that you do, it's more so what the fund manager is doing. But then a lot of that research, like, if you do a exchange traded funds versus mutual funds, there's a lot of charts on places, reliable investment websites like a Fidelity or a Schwab that'll kind of break down what I'm describing too. So for the passive investor, does it matter which one to have? I would say that probably is an it depends question. One of those ones where I'd recommend, like, that'd be hard to give specific advice without knowing a situation, to be honest with you all. But the fact that one thing I do gather from this question is whoever asked it is clearly on the right track, because they know a thing or two about this. By even using the word passive investor, because a lot of times what we teach in our classes is dollar cost averaging, or in other words, likely maybe what you're doing with your retirement account here is you just put money in every month. You buy and hold. You stay in over the long run. And so typically, in other words, you're not actively trying to buy, sell, trade all the time, but you're being passive and letting the market do the job for you. And over the long term, historically, it's done pretty good. Historical doesn't always predict future, but historically, it's done pretty good. So I hope that helps just break down a little bit of the differences of those funds. And there's just so many out there. That's one of those things, I like to tell people when I do any kind of topic. I mean, when you're someone like me who does a whole, class on finance every semester, I mean, anything that I'm asked to answer in 5 minutes, I could probably spend 2 whole class sessions on, right? So just in general, those are the couple differences. When we invest, next question was, when we invest our HSA through health equity, it charges a fee and the investment options are limited. Can we invest our HSA through a different investment company such as Vanguard or Fidelity? If so, how do we do that? I'm not aware of the ability to roll those funds into any other company. To be honest with you, like roll the actual HSA account over to Vanguard or Fidelity. I'm not aware of that now. If you transition into a different career, you know, and you're not at WK, you probably can, I would say. But I've never, while being here, I've never heard of anybody doing that. Now I will mention though, and I double checked this morning. I was looking at my HSA account. All the investment options are actually Vanguard funds. Because that was one of the questions, that was part of the question that this individual asked is, could it be through Vanguard or Fidelity? So while the account itself is being managed through health equity, the actual investment funds, the mutual funds that you can invest in are actually through Vanguard. So, which this is not saying hey, go invest in Vanguard or not invest in Vanguard, but just because there's a reference to fees, the Vanguard mutual funds and historically have extremely low fees as it goes for mutual funds. So maybe that'll make whoever asked that question feel a little bit better about it. And the next question I had was, how long should we keep past tax returns? The short answer is 3 to 7 years. The IRS, I double checked this from the IRS website. I'm not a tax professional. In financial planning, we do some tax planning. Typically, when it comes to a financial planner would say, when it comes to tax advice, you want to have a certified public accountant take a look at your situation. Typically, a lot of what financial planning does is we say, hey, these are some things we should consider. Let's talk to your CPA in tandem about these things. But the short answer is 3 to 6 years or 3 to 7 years. And the IRS actually has a list they put on their website of situations where it extends beyond 3 years. So if you're wondering that question, I'll just mention a couple of these. If you this is verbatim from the IRS website. This is not my opinion. It says keep records for 7 years if you file a claim for a loss from worthless securities or bad debt deduction. Keep records for 6 years if you do not report income that you should report and it's more than 25% of your gross income shown on your return. Keep records indefinitely if you do not file a return. Keep records indefinitely if you file a fraudulent return. Hopefully that's nobody. Keep employment tax records for at least 4 years after the date that the tax becomes due is paid, whichever is later. I think that's funny that it says keep your records if you file a fraudulent returns. Like, just keep all the evidence. So when they find you, they can look at it, I guess is, you know. Anyways, so 3 to 7 years. Can you talk about the best software programs, budgeting, planning tools that are available for free for monthly budgeting? Well, I'm extremely biased because I have one I really like, but there's no such thing as a free budgeting tool. I'll be honest with you. That's great. A lot of times some tools will let you have some access to them for free. I think like there's one called Envelope that'll do that. There's one, the one that Dave Ramsey made, pretty popular. I think actually he owns it. It's Every Dollar. I think there's a free version of that. A lot of times what happens if you have the free version is they do one and or two things, is they limit the number of categories you can have in your budget. And then secondly, the amount of and maybe the amount of accounts that you can add. The other thing is importing transactions that sometimes can be limited in free versions. I'll tell you my favorite budgeting app, and if you Google it, it'll be in the top rankings. It's the one we use the most, is youniedabudget.com, which amounts to, if you pay like on an annual fee opposed to a monthly fee, it's about $109 for the year. Now, so in other words, like $12, right? $12 a month, or close, a little less than that. So no, that's way too high. More like $8 a month. $8 a month. So 8 or 9. I can't, I do finance, but I still use a calculator. It's early enough. I haven't had most of my tea this morning. So, but no, I will say, I'll get away from the podium for a minute. I will say, here's what I've found. This is kind of my selling point on using a budgeting app. Is spreadsheets are exhausting. pen and paper is even more exhausting because we tell people there's two keys to really being successful, like just overarching keys to being successful with budgeting or having spending plans. You gotta have a written plan, and that can be digital, and you gotta track your expenses to see if the plan is actually working. And the faster that the tracking part can occur, it gives you the ability to make real-time decision making, right? If it's great to keep receipts and do pen and paper, but then you have to go home and tally it all to know how much you actually have left and determine whether or not you can stop at Tsunami or Shogun, right? That's do I have money left for this to stop at TJ Maxx? Or those kind of things are hard to do on the fly with pen and paper. And even with a spreadsheet, it can be hard. That's why I like YNAB or youneedabudget.com is the long version, YNAB. Well, that's why I call it YNAB. The cool thing about it is it's browser based, but then also I have the app, right? We use this with our students. The students get a kind of a cool advantage because they have a program for college students where they get a year for free. So if you're taking advantage of the tuition benefit here, you fall into that category. I'm actually gonna be talking to them tomorrow too, because I'm gonna pitch the idea of people like me who get no kickbacks, but promote their program all the time. I think it would make sense in certain instances when someone's teaching budgeting as much as I am to maybe get access to some more free accounts for a year. We'll see how that goes. They have been generous and they let our students extend their year for longer if they work for us, which is kind of cool. But anyways, it's a really good resource because it lets you plan out every single dollar, and then you can track it. You can import stuff if you want, or you can do it manually. I use it. I have seen it be effective with lots of folks. I've seen students use it. I've seen folks that are older than students use it. There's a learning curve. It can work. Just to mention a couple others that I've heard other people like. Some people like Monarch. You pay for it. Some people like Rocket Money. I've not tried Rocket Money. I'm guessing that you get hit with lots of ads when you do Rocket Money. And I'm probably not sold on the budgeting component of it. That's like, if anybody used to use Mint, for example, I don't know if anybody used Mint before it got bought. Mint was really good at helping you know how much money you spent, not so much good at helping you plan how to spend it. So that's one of the reasons I never really liked Mint for that reason. So anyway, so the final point I would say on that is, if you think about all the things we spend money on, the impulse Amazon purchases, the amount of subscriptions that we have, $109 a year doesn't feel as crazy, right? Especially if that $109 can save you $1,000 from better spending habits. So that's one of the selling points I tend to have, and it does allow anybody to have a 34-day free trial just to try it out and see if it's going to work, which gives you basically a whole spending cycle, right? So I do like that tool. I think it can be game-changing, life-changing for anybody. That's the most important thing anybody can do to start their finances in the right direction. It's just having some kind of written plan and tracking their expenses. So that was the last of my questions. Does anybody have questions that they want me to answer while I'm here?
I have a question. Do you have what kind of resources do you have for online students? Do you guys do Zoom sessions or do you have things?
We can offer online Zoom for any student that would like to meet with us that's in that space. They just schedule an appointment and just say, hey, I need it to be via Zoom. And we'll, during COVID, all of our meetings were on Zoom, online or in person. And that's actually, the center had a significant growth spurt during COVID. I guess students found it convenient to meet with us online. So we were busy. So Zoom is very, very possible. In ways of other resources, in the summer, I offer an online personal finance class too.
Okay.
So that students can take advantage of. And if a student reaches out and said, hey, I need help with a specific topic, we can give them something on that front.
Awesome.
Good question. What other questions? Whether it's like how we services or just a personal finance question you're wondering about, I'll try to answer it.
When you all do the budgeting thing, you said you offered that to staff. How does that work? I mean, I've tried to do budget thing and I have tried to do the pencil and paper and you write it, will wear you out. And one thing I've learned is it literally takes a few months to get all the kinks worked out, because if you start budgeting everything from automobile repair to simple automobile service to pet food to all that kind of stuff, because it's, you know, up and down. That's the one thing I've noticed. It felt like I never could get a hold of my budget unless I had, you know, unless I was able to have several $1,000s to start out with. And,
Right.
you know, so when you said y'all is something you'd offer to staff,
Right.
I certainly see that as, I would have to have several classes, because there's a lot of kinks that seem like they have to be worked out, and I've never been able to stick with it long enough to get on track with doing a budget, you know, but I understand the concept of paying stuff off and working overtime to do it.
Right. So, and I think you bring up a good question. I hope I didn't cut you off.
No.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good question. So the how of what we do would be, we would want to sit down and figure out exactly what your situation is, help you think through maybe on the front end what your expenses are. If you're open to doing it through software we recommend, we would want to probably do that. We can do spreadsheets, but again, the software would make it easier. And then to speak to and so that's where we would start, and we'd probably have some, okay, well, for the next, 5 days, try to keep track of your expenses and start using this tool to help you make your spending decisions versus pulling up your available balance and mobile banking app. Like, that's the hardest thing to break, right? If you can break that mindset of just going to the available balance on your mobile banking app versus actually using what you've planned out, that can make a big difference. And then the other thing too is a budget shouldn't feel so restrictive that if you have to make changes to it, then it's going to fail, right? So one of the cool things about like what we do with this tool or any tool is if you can plan out every dollar, you can change it, right? As you need to, but you can see the opportunity cost that occurs with those changes, right? You can see, okay, well, I realize, I forgot about pet food. Okay, well, there's $40. Okay, well, where do I want to take that from the other places I planned? Having it already all out helps you determine, okay, well, where can I afford to take it from? And then also, like, I don't know about you all, but like, payday's a fun day. But I really like to budget the night before I get paid. For whatever reason, I thought we were getting paid Monday this week and it came through on Saturday, and that was a surprise. Or at least my account did. And so I had a day where I was driving a little bit blind, and I looked by the time I got everything done, I was like, oh my gosh, I spent way more than I thought I did just on that day, right? So one of the things, the point of just being vulnerable, right, is that like, woke up that morning to a text that said it came through. I'm thinking, okay, well, I didn't have, when you have two little ones running around, you got, Saturday's your only fun day. You don't stop that morning. That's why I like to do it the night before. So the point is, the more control you can have over it by like even planning out the night before. Here at WKU, it's easy for us to see our pay stubs, on TopNet and plan that out. Can give you a lot of control. And then so I want to speak to two other things you said. One is when you're getting started, and even as you continue to budget, we have this rule. It's a psychological rule more than a financial rule. We have to learn how to roll with the punches. In other words, as you're doing it, there is going to be those errors, and we'll have to make adjustments, and we just keep going, and just stick to it rather than, stopping. Just stick to it, and then over time you can get rid of the kinks. And then the second rule is we try to take any of those non-monthly expenses like auto maintenance, like gifts around Christmas time, all that kind of stuff. And we try to turn that over time into a monthly expense. So in other words, what I actually have available to spend is going to be based off not just what my auto bill is for my mortgage or my auto loan is and my groceries, but also I need to go ahead and say, okay, well, I know car tags are in August for me. So I need to set aside X number of dollars for car tags this month. And if I can try to figure out all those different things as much of them as possible, then what I have actually left is a truer picture of what I have to spend. And that can take some time to figure all that out, right?
That's where it gets so muddy, because I'm like, well, I'm coming up negative every time. you know, and then something will come through months later that will help me, okay. Thank God I got enough to pay my house taxes. Now I didn't budget for it, but something came down the pipe that allowed me to do, but it seemed like, you know, car tags, those, you know, things that you pay once a year.
Yeah.
Is what, it's like, okay, I never have enough. I'm always coming up negative, so then I try to pull money from something else and then I come up negative the next month and I get frustrated with it. That's my biggest thing is I get frustrated because I feel like if I had $5,000 to start with, I'd be good to start budgeting and then not touch it anyways, but.
Well, yeah, no, I'd say, feel free to take advantage of our services, try out what we're talking about and see if that can help make a difference. It takes time. That's the thing about budgeting is it's not exactly, I always tell our students, it's like, it's not glamorous, it's not, sexy or exciting, like it takes time, it takes a lot of time and it's not fun, but it can be transformational over a long period of time and it may take a while. But
So how does someone get in touch with you guys to
Yeah.
set something up that's available?
So generally speaking, our website's our best go-to. You could, on our staff page, you could find my name in particular, schedule me, that way through my direct link and just pick a time that's convenient for you. If nothing's convenient, just shoot me an email and we'll hammer something out for a time. That would be the easiest way. Yeah.
So that would just be at Center for Financial Services or?
Center for Financial
We have the
Success.
cards you said, right?
Yeah, and I'll leave these cards out here, and so you'll have our website on the back and all that information. I'll just leave them up here, and I know Andrea will be in the same building as me, so she can maybe bring them back.
Okay.
Any other questions? I've taken a lot of your time, I know, but this has been good. Yeah.
I just want to say thanks, Zach, and to you and Dr. Head and Adam, because for the partnership y'all been with the military student services in our office. Those financial success workshops, are very helpful for our students, and then just by that connection, seeing our students actually schedule an individual appointment and actually do that, it's been good. And if I could put a plug in, we do have our third financial success workshop coming up April 15th at 3 p.m. It's in Gary Ransdell Hall, 2005. Adam will be hosting that. We do it on Zoom as well, so somebody wants to send me, they can email military@wku.edu. But it's normally geared to the military students, but like you mentioned, we've had our staff, attend those. So I'd open up anybody that wants to come to it. The topic's going to be home and auto, and it will be geared a little towards, there will be some specific stuff for military veterans, but Adam's there to answer questions too. So those have been very helpful. So I just want to thank you too for what y'all do. I've seen it help our students.
Well, I appreciate it, and we're hoping to do more for you guys in the near future, so.
Any other questions?
I would just also suggest, when we have this professional development opportunities for the staff, I would love to attend a session where maybe you all are given some tips and how-tos that are maybe a little more generalized. I think it would be very informative, so just a suggestion.
Yeah, do you have you done like the Student Success Summit or anything? Have you asked to present to there or?
I think we were asked, but then, kind of the last second, but then they ended up finding enough people this last time, but I guess, so my question would be, which would be the Student Success Summit be the event you guys would like us to do, or would there be a better professional day for staff?
I was thinking of the one that usually is held in January.
Right, that's like the Student Success Summit or whatever,
I'm
but.
not sure what it's called, but I think it's over here at DSU.
The Professional Development Day, yeah. Well, they're also talking about doing one this summer. I know that's in the works, like in August, and
Okay.
hopefully and it's gonna be more staff centered, so. I think it'd be just a good opportunity for you to get, and hopefully they will do that, cause I really enjoyed like that week we had. Like you said, it's been like 10 years ago, but. It was a lot of financial information, and I think partnering with HR would be a really good thing to get more PD days, or just even like, you could go through the Center of Innovative Teaching and Learning, because they do webinars even for faculty and staff. That may be something to do if you get your information out there as more.
That'd be interesting. I hadn't thought of that, doing that directly through CITL.
Yeah, because that's what we did for one of our things, for online learning, but I think that would be good. That way they could expose, if you didn't do like a day or, because then you'd hit the faculty and staff, so. Opportunities for you to grow, just gotta have the people, right?
That's right, that's right.
I have one. I work for the Kelly Autism Program, when I work with college students, Nerdverse. And so we do actually career planning and opportunities. So I would love to probably talk with you sometime to come and meet with. We have incoming students, those ones that are not here yet on campus, but we're doing, something we just started up, kind of like you guys. We do a summer internship program, but we're also trying to do something for incoming students when they first come here, maybe an orientation before they arrive officially on the campus. So I could see this being a benefit for some of those students. Before they start their new routines and transitions, they're getting that information at the beginning. And so I don't know if that's something you'd be interested in, but we
Yeah.
would love to talk with you more and see about something. Because I think that would be very good. And I'm sure with other students coming on campus, if you're initially coming on campus, it would be great. But I know that would be very beneficial for our students as well.
Absolutely. No, I think I'm vaguely remembering at some point or another, we had conversations with the Kelly Autism Program, or maybe came down for something.
Yeah.
I know in the last year, we've done some stuff with WKU LifeWorks.
With LifeWorks. Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's on the other side. You're correct. You did go there. Yeah.
So we, but no, yeah, let's have a conversation and figure out how we can get more involved.
Because we're talking about having we started thinking, let's do an orientation for them before master plan and kind of get their, knowing where things are, knowing where they can go reach out and maybe just give them a little snippet of going, hey, this is how you need to watch your money, not spend your meal pay dollars all in the first 2 weeks. I mean, just different things that they just don't think of and understand sometimes at first. And so I think that would be a great opportunity for awareness, financial awareness. So we would love to partner with you on doing that.
That'd be great. Absolutely.
I did not catch your name though. I was trying to look it up and I was
Zach Jones.
Zach Jones. Okay.
Yeah, and we did have a comment from Taylor Wright at LifeWorks and said she really appreciated you being a partner with him.
Oh, yeah. We like working with LifeWorks.
Awesome. Yeah. Any other questions? Cool. Well, Zach, thank you so much for coming, and so you can about build some partnerships, and then if you guys need anything, questions about PD days or, you know, want to partner with staff, just let us know.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. So we will move on to officer committee and staff regent reports. Staff regent, Jennifer, did you have anything?
I don't have any report. Sorry, I didn't make it down there before the meeting. My meeting before this ran over. Are we going to talk about parking later? I was just going to add some comments to that, but nothing that is of a report on my end.
Yeah, we'll talk about parking.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, communications, Deanna?
Yep, I'm just gonna share that we received 2 emails, or we received an email each from 2 different staff people asking questions about parking changes. We reached out to parking and they got back to us, and so we've spoken directly with those people addressing their questions, and we've invited parking to come to our June meeting, so they're gonna come then. I think we could, do you wanna, I don't know, Jennifer, what you wanna talk about specifically?
She may have got a call. Or maybe she got a call or something. We can bring it back up like in the new business or, yeah, that'd be fine. Oh, here she comes, Jennifer.
Hey, I'm sorry. I had somebody come in my office. What was the question again?
It was she was just asking Jennifer if, about the parking, because Jennifer had something to add. So I don't think it was for you, Susan, unless you have anything to add about parking.
No, we'll typically go out in early summer or something like that to issue parking permits. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything else.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So treasurer, Andrew?
My usual treasurer's report, our E&G index, starting balance, $3,493.24, disbursements of $166.08 for the staff meet and greet. Ending balance, $3,327.16. Our staff Senate Excellence Fund, starting balance, $2,230.12, additions of $15. Ending balance, $2,245.12. Our book scholarship fund, starting balance, $1,924.24. Additions of $15. Ending balance of $1,939.84, and I will add that I have moved forward as we made a motion our last meeting to purchase more staff towels. I have gone ahead and started that process, and I think it can be like 400 more towels for what we budgeted, and I think that's great. And then I mentioned this to my fellow committee members for the Finance and Budget Committee. We do also want to remember to order shirts for our new senators when we, like, that's going to be an upcoming expense that we'll get later on when I know how many times to order. And that's all I have for today.
Okay, thank you. Senator Johnson,
No report.
Senator White,
No report.
Secretary Senator Morgan,
No report.
and Senator Vanderpool.
No report.
All right, nice and simple. Huh? Okay. So, I don't have much on my report either. The Budget Executive Committee did not meet yesterday. The next scheduled meeting is April 15th. I did not get to meet with the president last week. I was out of town at a conference and I didn't have anything on the agenda that was pressing. So, it didn't need to be rescheduled for April or for, excuse me, March. I will meet with him this month. So if you guys have any agenda items or any questions or anything you want me to bring to the president, please feel free to email me, or we can discuss it. You know, I want to be your voice, and if you have something to say or you have questions, please let me know so I can have those discussions with him. I want to also say another big thank you to all of you guys for the help for the spring meet and greet. I think it was very successful. We had probably close to 100 staff members. They seemed excited. I even saw some social media posts, people posting their towel and their certificate, and I did get all of the certificate and towels mailed out to the staff members who could not come, so those went through campus mail. Deanna, I did have a question. Did you ever research that LinkedIn about doing LinkedIn for the staff Senate page?
No.
Okay, yeah, so if you wanna do that, cause I know we had talked about, cause we don't use X anymore usually.
Yeah, I have still been posting,
Right.
but it's just not, there's just not a lot of people on there. We're not getting a lot of engagement, like 1 or 2 people liking the posts, and most of that's like the university account sharing. So I think
Yeah,
LinkedIn
I
would be
think LinkedIn
better,
would be good.
and I think more people probably, since it is, you know, sort of a professional.
Professional, yeah, okay, yeah, if you wanna look into that, we'll do
Yeah.
that, hopefully. So Human Resources will be our guest speakers for next month. We will send out a call for questions around the 22nd of April. And then submit that to the HR so they can have those questions ready to be answered. And I believe that is it. Jennifer, did you have some information on the communication? Or parking, excuse me.
No, I didn't have information. The only thing I was gonna say is I would really like to see the utilization on the paid spots or the paid, whatever they call those park mobile spots there that are in the hub lot. Which I think was one of the questions that just came up to get today and said, because I know Jenny said in that email that there really was a need for the increase in public parking up there, but I think the people who park in that lot would say that those are never utilized. So I'm just curious of when they are seeing those being utilized, at what point in the day, or and what the utilization really does actually look like in those spots, just out of curiosity. Or even in comparison to some of the others. And again, I just curious as to what they see, and maybe we just don't see it.
So they're talking about using that whole lot across from Cherry Hall, that big, huge lot?
No, it's the
Small?
one to the, yeah. Not what is it, college?
Oh,
It's more across from ordinance.
okay, kind of the smaller upper, like we used to call it the upper pit or whatever,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's gonna be all paid for park. Are they gonna remove the paid for parking in the other lot then and push it down to that little small one?
Not proposed that way.
You mean an old Fort lot?
Yeah.
They-
Well, no, not I guess the one now that's gonna be, cause right now at Cherry Hall, there's some paid parking, right, in that faculty staff lot? No, okay,
Below that there is.
below, okay, in the lower.
At College Hall.
Call time.
I think we're gonna reach out to Jennifer.
To see the utilization. Okay. Okay, Any other questions about the parking or concerns? Okay, thank you. Anything for old business? Yeah, I guess that would be old business instead of new business. I was gonna put it on new business, but it is. Okay. So I had finally got the numbers situated and everything pulled, because it's a little confusing sometimes, but there's some great information on the shared drive, how to pull this information. So right now, we are looking at needing 11, we'll have 11 vacancies. And currently we have 10 that are rolling over. There is a confusion because based on how we do the number of elections, they do it on a percentage based on the number of employees. So right now in the secretarial, the full-time secretary and clerical, it was only scheduled to have 2, based on the numbers. However, we currently have 3 on the books that are all 3. I have Andrea, Rhonda Jones, and Morgan all rolling over till 2026. So we will probably have to pull one from the part-time one. One thing that I was interested to see was when I got the numbers from HR, we have, because we haven't had a part-time person in a long time. I know when I was on it years ago, we had a part-time person. I think we may have had a part-time person once or twice in the last probably 6 or 7 years. We have over 211 part-time executive administrative professional, and we have over 155 employees part-time that are secretary clerical, and even 58 in the technical skilled and maintenance. So we've got a lot of part-time people here on campus. If you know of someone that's part-time, let's really encourage them to run. I would really like to get some part-time representation on our staff senate. I know when I had someone on there before, they were very vocal about what benefits part-timers do not receive. They're working a lot of hours. When we're closed, they're not getting the pay. I think it would be important to, so if you know anyone part-time, please encourage them to run. We could use some representation for the part-timers as well. So it looks like we are going to need 5 executive administration professionals. We need 3 part-time, that was the full-time. And then we will need 2 part-time secretary clericals, and then 1 part-time technical skilled maintenance. So we are covered on the full-time secretary clerical and the full-time technical skilled maintenance. But anyone can run because there will be at-large positions, especially for the part-timers that are not filled. So I did confirm with IT, I asked about April 30th, and that date is available for the election. So I was looking at maybe doing a call for nominations around April 9th through the 18th. And then they can campaign from the 23rd to the 29th. And have our election on April 30th. And then that way they could, if they wanted to attend the May meeting, they could come as a guest to the May meeting. And then that would also give us time in May if we do not have enough. We had to do a special called election last year because we did not have enough nominees to fill all the positions with our first election. Let's hope we don't have that problem. Hopefully we'll have just an abundance of people who want to sign up for Senate this year. So definitely it's going to be important to encourage fellow people. If you know of someone that would be a great member on Senate, I presented to staff leadership, and then actually Rachel Wyatt attended our staff leadership graduation and talked about staff Senate again. I was out of town. So, I mean, we're getting our information out there. So hopefully we'll have some interest this year. Any questions about the elections? Ben, I was gonna ask you, do you have any updates from the benefits committee?
I actually wasn't able to attend.
Okay.
Meeting last month.
Okay, yeah,
I don't think it was anything.
Yeah, let me see. I think Jordan had sent, there wasn't any, they're still just working on, let me see if Jordan. So he didn't, the only update he had was saying that the Benefits Advisory Committee held a special called election on March 5th and a regular meeting on March 19th. They are on track with program planning timeline. March was slated for preliminary health plan cost projections, and that was the primary content of the meeting, and the next round of projections are slated for June. They head into April with annual renewals around auxiliary benefits, stop loss, which is on the timeline. So they are on schedule on their timeline. So if there's any updates, they'll provide it at our next meeting. Okay, any other old business? Okay. Any new business? This we have a time for public comment. Anyone needing public comments?
I'll go over meeting. Sorry I didn't catch this during staff senate, but Weston, one of today's awardees, he was on the chat on YouTube and he said, while he wasn't able to join today, I wanted to thank Nina and Morgan so much for their kind words and recognition. It truly means so much to me to have received this award. I'm proud to be part of such an amazing community, and I'm looking forward to the work we will be able to continue to do.
Okay, thank you, Kent. Yeah. Okay, so the only other announcements was that our next staff and senate meeting will be May 7th at 10 a.m. and HR will be our guest speaker. And if I remember correctly, Andrea, June meeting is gonna have to be in Jody Richards, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Already scheduled.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, and that's, we'll definitely announce it. I'll send an email reminder the day before too, because I'll forget, so. Okay, if nothing else, we'll do a call motion to close it. Motion, second, okay, and we are done for the day.